So for anybody that doesn't know, this is Courtenay Hamilton. Amazing teacher is what people I think know her for the most as, because that's how I knew you at the beginning. That's how I was, told. And to be honest with you, I know that might sound bad. I've not seen the level of amazing that I think everybody was trying to say you were. I've seen really good teachers. I've seen how they, get the numbers as far as getting the scores, the test scores and stuff like that. I've seen that. I've seen teachers and coaches that care about the kids and have stories and stuff. And then those are amazing people. And then I met you and what you've done to not only change my life, but see how you change the students' lives and the connections you make with their parents that we've talked about with a couple of kids. So I'm blessed to have you. I thought I was so afraid that you were going to say that you didn't want to, which I completely get. I completely understand because, I was that way for a long period of time. I was. But I'm so thankful that you did, because this is going to be amazing, and it means the world to me.
You should be thankful, because this is so far out of my comfort zone. I don't like putting myself out there at all. It takes a lot to get me to be front and center. Like I don't like it. I hate awards day because I have to get up there and talk, and everybody's like looking, and to an extent, I don't like getting any kind of acclimates. Makes me feel like, I know that's not perceived that way, but I'm like, I don't want the attention on me. My job is all about the students. So this is outside my comfort zone. So you are very blessed to have me here.
No, and I 100% agree. I
don't mind like talking. I think this is very chill. You and I have had like lots of conversations. So I'm trying not to think about the microphones and the lights and the videos.
And it's hard not to.
It's nerve-wracking.
And that's the thing too. And like I told you out there, that I wanted it to be genuine. And that's why this conversation is being had right now, because it is like, this is only my third time to do this. Like I've had conversations with you and it's just me and you. I've had conversations where it was 3 people involved or whatever. And we can have those and it feels natural. But again, right now in the back of your mind that there's stuff being like recorded of you. You know that there's lights. This is a different kind of situation. This
is going into like forever. Like, this will be a forever moment. It'll be out there.
Oh my gosh. And that's like, and the thing is like, I know that you are feeling that and that's you, but just know that that's still me. Like, and I no matter what, no matter how many of these I do, how many connections I make and talk about the topics that I do, it's not going to change that those are all like, my memory bank is going to have to get bigger, because it's going to be full. It's going to be filled with remembering everything that was said and everything. And if I don't, I can go back and watch the little thing and be surprised, like a kid on Christmas that forgot about the present they asked for the year before and they didn't get, like that surprised. Like, oh, like it's amazing. I gotta take a second because I got to plug, and it's not plugging her. It's not plugging them at all. So I'm not doing that, sponsor. But I'm plugging my wife for a second. This is something that I joke about last year, and this is something that I blame you a little bit because, and I'll get into that in a second. But making sure kids know what's your favorite stuff? What makes you happy? What would be that one thing that you see and it's just like, you'll never forget that student giving you that one thing. This is mine. It's the Dublin Orange Dream soda. So it's like a creamsicle, like melted down into a soda that is like amazing and it's been blessed with sparkles inside of it. To me, that's the best way I can describe it. So anyways, they don't sell it in many places. They do sell it in the great town of West Texas, which of course, that's Slovachiks. So that's the only place that we could really find it locally that's not Fort Worth or something like that. Like, and I don't like, I've looked into ordering it and you got to pay shipping and it's this whole thing. But that's my favorite one, is that Dublin, Texas Orange Dream soda. So anyways, I'm plugging her because yesterday I had a conversation with Michelle. Amazing. It was an amazing conversation. And Melinda went and took Hunter because Hunter, he's very rambunctious and it's all about him. And if he knocks over something, he knocks over something. So she wants to make sure that they can go have fun and be away from the house and not have to worry about making noise and stuff like that. So, and she kind of took him earlier today. She's going to be back with him later. But when she took him, she's like, oh, what can I go? Where can I go? What can I do? And she thought of me. She had no other reason to go to Slovacek. We live in Hillsboro. She had no reason to leave Hillsboro. She could have went to Walmart. She could have went to Ace because we're looking at like some hardware type stuff. She could have done all those things, but she thought to drive 15 miles to go get me like all of these sodas that I love, and then take care of Hunter that could be distracting me in any way. And so that way my anxiety is not bad. But she did all that. She took care of me. She not only by making sure Hunter was good, but she went out of her way to get me the one thing that she knows I love that I don't have all the time. So then that way, literally, I could have this conversation right now and be this happy.
And that was not a big deal to her. It's a big deal to you, and it's not a big deal to her. And that's something that I've here recently learned, is that things that I think are a big deal, it takes someone like a push of a button to do. And I'm immensely appreciative of it. And they're like, but it wasn't a big deal. So all those like little deals that they see on your side is huge, and then it's vice versa. So that's just, those are great moments.
It is like, and I'd like to think that I've had at least a couple, I think more than a couple, let's be honest, with some of the kids, especially this last year. But again, what might mean something little to you, like financially, or like you would have just done that anyways for something else, or spent that money on something, or it doesn't even have to be money. It could be something that you made for them or had for them or whatever, but means so little to you means the world to them. And that right there in itself just blows my mind that this is why you're here, is because you make those connections. Holy jeez, you make these connections all the time, and I don't see it till after you do. It's just like, but man, that's what you're a teacher for. I mean, I know that there's other reasons. I know that my number one is different than that.
I don't like tooting my own horn, but that's what makes a good teacher.
Yes.
So, like our district does the whole choose kindness thing, and that's what choose kindness is. Whatever Starlet wants to say, but that's choosing kindness.
Yeah.
It didn't take Melinda any time to just pick that up for you. She just chose kindness that time. And when you do that with students, it's the same thing. It's like rolling the nines. It's like, giving them an extra day with no points off. It's, understanding like that they need supplies. You're teaching 7th grade, but an 8th grader runs in and is like, I need markers.
Yeah.
Like, okay, here you go. It's not a big deal to me, but that just saved them from like failing an assignment or getting in trouble with another teacher.
Yep.
That to me is the choose kindness. And I fully believe in like modeling. So if I'm modeling that, it has that ripple effect. It's not going to hit everybody, but it will hit some people. And they might remember that, like, she gave me grace and kindness. She didn't have to. So I think that's what makes good teachers great.
It
makes them human.
Man.
Like, and kids are going to want to connect with that. Like, they're going to choose the kind person. And I just wish that, like, the whole world was like that. And my own children, I have a son and daughter, 18 and 22. They're not as kind as me. They'll own that. But they feel like, they tell me all the time, they're like, we have to take care of you because you're so naive. Like, you think people are always going to do the right thing. And I'm like, that's who I'd want. That's who I don't want to come in contact with. That's how I'd like the world to be. So that choosing that kindness, again, it doesn't take sometimes it doesn't take you any effort at all just to be kind. So,
man, oh my gosh, like I have so many thoughts going through my head, but the one that I really like, no, I'm being real with you, and it's, and I know you know that. Like, I feel like I have to convince everybody that I talk to, like how I work.
Gotta have your tabs open. Choose one.
Yes. So, and now I got to choose one again. But no, I know where the thought is, and I just got to get there again. So, like you talked about that, and the way you said it, like, resonated with me because that's who you are. Like, and I get it. Like, and you said, and you weren't, it's one of the things that you've helped me with tremendously, and we've talked about, is knowing my own worth. Like, and I have, like, do I feel like I'm fully there and I fully own like what my worth is? I don't think I'm quite there. I think I'm still trying to get there, but I know I'm a good teacher. I know I'm a good teacher, and I can see what I want to get better at and what I see naturally in you.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause you on that because first of all, I know that you know I think you're a great teacher.
I know you know that.
Okay,
I can't just
so
say it
but
like that.
hold on. But there are different ways to say I'm a good teacher because I've seen teachers in the past. They are good teachers,
Right.
as in they have data to back up that they are an
Right.
effective teacher. There are other ways to be good teachers. Like you've worked with teachers like that in the past.
Mhm.
Like they are phenomenal at getting results. They're
Mhm.
phenomenal at getting the data to reflect growth and for most of like 99% of their students, and yet they don't have any relationships with kids. Then you've seen teachers that kids are kids. Like they're not always going to be on test days. So you see teachers that you would say are good teachers and they don't have the data to show what they're doing in the classroom. For whatever reason, like the makeup of the class, because the good teachers always get, behavioral problems. They always get, because you can handle them.
Mhm.
You're good with
Mhm.
relationships. So we're going to put them in your class.
Mhm.
Or ESL, you get a large block of ESL all in one, and especially at the lower levels where you don't have them changing every so often. So you get good teachers that don't have data, but then you get good teachers that do have data. So you have to think, what is your definition of a good teacher?
Right.
You are a good teacher in the sense that you had the data to back up your worth.
Right.
What you should also consider is the relationships with the students, because we can't keep students as data. I hate classifying them as data. What race are they? Are they ESL? Are they SPED? Are they coming from low economic household?
Mhm.
Homeless? I hate reducing them to data
No,
because they're
absolutely.
people. They're
Absolutely.
people. So when I think of a good teacher, I don't necessarily think of someone who is making the data and making your admin happy with your high achieving. I think, are you connecting with students and making them feel safe, making them feel valued? Do you make the connections with them? Are you genuine with them? And that will overlap, because if you're genuine with a student, they're going home and they're probably talking about you. Mr. Ennis, said this stupid joke today. Mr. Ennis was all over the room. Mr. Ennis told me I did a good job. And so now the parents are hearing your name and they're gonna be like, who is that? I need to know who this person is. And so then they're curious about you. And so then when you reach out, to talk about, like a high five or, a need or whatever, they're like, we've heard your name before and I've been wanting to talk to you.
Isn't that cool?
Or the kids. I love when I go into Hillsboro, because I don't live in Hillsboro, but I spend so much time here that everybody.
Oh, you're in Hillsboro. It's just you're not in Hillsboro, but you're in Hillsboro.
Most people that I live in the same town with, they're like, we thought you moved to Hillsboro. Like when they found out I had cancer, they're like, wait, she still lives here? Because I spend a lot of time here and I love being out there, because the kids are the first ones that will run up to you and start talking to you, and the parents are like, who's the stranger danger? And the parents come up to you and they start talking and they're like,
I get it.
I know who you are. And then you become a real person to them. And then you have that relationship with them and you get the support with them. And that support builds on to what you can do with the kid. Because it's all about the kid. It's all about the kid.
Oh, man. Every time you say something, it just it just reminds me of something. Like, you have such a great, you teach English. Like, it makes sense. Like, to me, it doesn't make sense because I want to be it. And it's like, I know that would take so much effort on my part to be able to process thoughts and explain them as clearly as you do. Like anywhere close to as clearly as you do. But you were talking about when you're out in public and it's stranger danger type situation, all teachers get it. All teachers get it. So one thing I want to make very clear is all teachers get it. So now that we know that, now that we say that, I dress this exact same way in public. I wear my short sleeves. I wear a flat brim cap. A lot of times I wear my Oakleys because I'm driving my Jeep. I'm not trying to brag. It's just I love that Jeep. It's not the newest thing in the world, but I love it. But so during the summer, that's the way I'm dressed. If I might be making it 10 feet inside the Walmart and still have my sunglasses on and see somebody I know, a kid, and I'm like, oh, hey, I'm this goofy guy. What's up? And I embarrass them and stuff. The parent immediately, and I get it. I'm not going politics on this. I get it, but this is kind of why I wanted to do this podcast. Is because I don't dress this way when I teach kids. I don't dress this way when I teach kids. There's professional reasons why, and there is there's professional reasons why, and then there's policies there's things that make it where I get it. I 100% get it. There was a time that we need to make sure that we stayed professional and we focused on what's important. At the time was the education of these kids and all that kind of stuff. I get it. With it being a different generation, they're not used to seeing a teacher look like me. They're used to. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's a crazy thing to see a young white male as a teacher, because a lot of times he might also be a coach. He might be doing something else with the school with the video game. That's something I'm really cool about. EA sports team or something. He might do something like that with the kids, and that's just his thing. And he likes talking about it and teaching technology. They're not used to. It's not that they're not used to seeing a white guy. They're not used to seeing a guy that maybe in a different generation was seen as someone as lacking morals, lacking.
See, here is where I'm going to disagree with you. I think they're not used to seeing, number one, a guy, and number two, a guy of any color, but they're not used to seeing the white guy teaching them. You have to think about in 7th grade, they're coming up from the elementary stage. And who are their teachers in the elementary stage?
Absolutely,
white women.
Yes, absolutely, white women.
It's white women.
I mean, that's what it is. We have
a disproportionate amount of minorities in teaching.
I agree.
We get better at the secondary level. We have more people of color at that level. We have more than just women teaching. We get men because of the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, elementary, it's white women. And think about how they dress. I mean, just thinking about here in Hillsborough, and I know that that's typical in a couple of other neighboring communities that we have, districts, they dress cutesy.
Right.
It's cutesy.
Yeah.
It's straight up cutesy.
I get it. Absolutely. I get it. My wife's a teacher. I get it.
They get to curl their hair. And I've never understood that, because as someone who came from the elementary area, like, you curl your hair to go to the playground, it's gone. Like, you come home smelling so bad. Maybe that's why they're all on the cutesy. Maybe that's why they're all about cutesy, because recess time, everybody stinks. But but if you think about it, like, the elementary teachers are the cutesy white women.
Right.
And usually they're younger. Usually, not always, but usually they are. So you got the cutesy young white girls, and that's what they're coming into. And so then for like basically 6 years, you get the same. It's kind of like the same mold of a teacher, just different hair length, different hair color, whatever. And then they hit the junior high, and we are predominantly men, which I think is amazing and awesome, which is what we need.
I didn't even see that. Yeah.
We need representation across the board.
I agree.
Because these kids are coming to us not being represented, and the people who are in charge of their education. So then they have these perspectives that, me as a white woman, I don't have. Like, it's going to be harder to reach out to a young black student, male student, but I have to be aware. So it's not. I have to disagree that you are new to them. Having a male teacher is a break from 6 to 7 years. When you think about it, if they went to daycare, who's teaching daycare?
Yep.
Young white women.
Yep.
So that you are new, and I think that throws them. They're like, oh my God, I got this guy in here teaching. Why would a guy want to be a teacher? Because that's like a girl thing to do. I mean, and then they see you out in public, and they see your tattoos, and they see like your personality shining through with like your wardrobe choice, like, because that's how they show their personality too. So I would love to see those dress policies go away, because I think it does help you connect with the students. They see you as a real person, and they see that, you have that personality, and it's a real personality. Because I feel like, seeing how you're dressed, like right now, you were so excited about your shirt. This is you. This is who you are. So that means when you wear your khakis, when you wear your button up, you're putting a mask on. You're putting a mask on. And I get the other side of it, professionalism. They have to know that. But those white loafers that I got this year, I can't tell you like how many times that would just start a conversation just out of the blue. And I honestly believe with that one student, he spent all year like, girl, I don't know you. Like, I've never seen you before in my life. And then he sees me in those shoes, and he won't stop talking about them. Like, I think we connected over the shoes. lemon pepper hot steppers. Like, and that was my personal choice of coming out in clothing, but the mask was off. That was real me. And
Yeah.
they were like, okay, she's not that old white lady. She has a personality.
Mm-hmm.
So I really hate the professional dress that we have to do. Like, I get it. I get the reasons behind it, because it is what it is. But I wish it was a little bit looser.
Right.
I really do.
Right. Now, and I fully agree. And I'm not like, I agree. I just think that it's that connection you make with the student that when they see you in public, there's a disconnect. Like it literally is like they're embarrassed a little bit. I get it. They're embarrassed a little bit, but also it's a shock for them seeing you that way and knowing that they just noticed you and they're like, do I want to tell my mom that's my teacher? You know what I mean? Like, so it's not embarrassment. It's just a lot of things. So like, but the thing for me that I would love the most is less of those kind of experiences and more of, at least we broke the barrier of, I'm not in shock now because I'm not, this is not a new look for me, for him. You know what I mean? Like and I obviously I can stay on one topic the whole time. Like there's one thing that I want to make sure I'm very clear on. Like as far as tattoos and stuff like that, like I understand there's a difference between appropriate and inappropriate. And that's something that like it can be, it's an opinion thing. It really is. I think that to me, appropriate in anything, not just a tattoo, but a written word or a word said in public or in private it depends on like, if that's like, there's a big difference between a curse word and a picture of my face. My face. It's not my face, but a picture of my wife's face on my arm.
Yeah,
or
tattoos
a
are
Spider-Man tattoo or something like that. But like, there's a difference between that and, you know, like something, just a horrible, offensive word just tattooed on somebody.
Tattoos, I mean, again, I get it. I wish that they could be shown, but I get why they can't, because it's subjective, like you said. It's based on opinion. We had to have that conversation this year with students because some of the stuff that we read in class that were, curriculum was not chosen by me. It was chosen by the district. And in that curriculum, we had a couple of, mild swear words in there. And the kids were like, and I told them, like, we have this word coming up. And they're like, it's not even like a big word. I was like, it's like that Taco Bell sauce, you can get mild and you think, ooh, that's spicy. And other people are like, that's not spicy at all. And then, you get the hot and then they're like, okay, no, that's spicy. And other people are still like, that's not spicy. So those words and images are the same way. Like, some people think they're spicy. Some people don't think they're spicy. So I get the tattoo thing. I just struggle. I like to be real with students as far as it's appropriate, and I don't like putting up a mask. I don't like doing that,
Exactly.
So, but I get the other side of it. I get the admin side of it, because you'll have to explain why a half-naked woman on her arm should not be
absolutely,
seen.
Absolutely.
Because you'd be surprised at some of the teachers that have some of those tattoos.
Yeah.
And
you break out the Sharpie and you start drawing a
bikini on the top.
Drawings like a dress.
I get that, but at the same time, at the other time, because for me, teaching is all about the relationships with the students. And that just puts like a barrier. I feel like I'm lying to them.
Absolutely. And it's and here's the thing, and like,
which
I guess
probably why my boss is always commenting on my clothes.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have Region 12, the region
doesn't matter, man.
You didn't have them come to give you a grant check for the very first day that you decided to wear a novelty t-shirt to school that had Chewbacca on it because you talked me into wearing it. Oh my God.
I love that.
Because then I was so scared to wear a novelty t-shirt that didn't have like Hillsborough Eagles or something like that. But I wore the Chewbacca shirt and I had like a nice button down. I think over it that was just unbuttoned. Like, I tried to look good, but I had no idea this Region 12 people were coming. It was a surprise. Obviously, I would not have worn a t-shirt.
They said we could tell you're passionate about your students, and like they didn't even care about the shirt, dude.
Oh, but you know what I mean? It's like, I don't even know how to like put that into a different situation because I think it was explained very clearly. But wow, like that was something. But no, that's it. I mean, like you saying, don't put a mask on. That's definitely who I am. I think I'm very close to fully being. like very close, and I wouldn't have been able to even start that process without you. Um, I was ashamed for so long that I couldn't remember anniversaries. That I felt ashamed for so long that I couldn't remember how old I was or how old um, my sister was or my mom and dad. Like I couldn't do that. I to this day, and I don't care because I think that somewhere, and I've said this before, I think somewhere somebody that's going to watch this is going to have the same thing or experience the same thing. Like I consider myself not lazy. I understand what what world wars and what other major wars happened. I know the sequence of them. I have no idea what years or even. I mean, I could probably get close to the war in Vietnam, because I had blood relatives that served. I could probably get close on that based on how old they are. I could figure that out. But the world wars, the Revolutionary War, no idea. Like if you literally told me in 1792 that was World War One, I would be like, man, and not even put two and two together. Like, dude, tanks haven't been around that long. Like guns, like oh my, like
But how
oh
often does that come up with your everyday life?
yeah,
Thing.
like not very
But
often.
the anniversaries I get because that means like you're hurting someone's feelings because it's like telling them it doesn't really matter if I notice when the first time we did something.
Yes.
So I get the anniversaries, but the war stuff I wouldn't care about that. Like you can Google that and it doesn't come up like in your everyday life. But I get feeling like selfish or dumb because you can't remember your anniversary or someone's birthday.
Right.
Again, you can put it in your calendar. Like there are ways around it. But I understand that. And it had to be hard as a student because you are expected to memorize stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And that was the thing, yeah.
Yep. That was the thing.
And that's
memorize dates.
And that's so weird because I can't. That's the way it was at Sam's Club. Because at Sam's Club, I'll just get through this real quick. They had cases of soda. They sold them in the old cardboard sleeves or whatever. 24 cans of Coke and all that kind of stuff. It was easier to memorize the item number, which is generally 4 to 6. I don't think it was 7, 4 to 6 digits. So I had memorized every single soda that we had over there. So whenever they came to a register, I just keyed in real quick, and it was super fast and super easy. And we'd have to transfer all the stuff over to another flatbed. That's a whole different story on how I hurt my back, and I was dumb and young and stupid. But anyways, I memorized those numbers, and that was fine. So it's not numbers. It's literally just dates. It's dates of the month, everything dealing with months and everything to deal with history, years, and stuff like that. I understand the sequence of years, 2021, 22, 23. I get that. But like just remembering stuff. So anyways, that was a long way to say I knew something was different. And that was just one example. I have stuttering issues. You've seen it many times before. It used to be extremely embarrassing to me, and usually only happens when I'm overly excited and I can't get the words out very quickly. Anyways, I had things that weren't there all the time, but they did show up. So eventually, I met you. We've met before, but I really met you, and we really started our relationship not last school year, but the school year before.
I told you we'd be friends.
Yes, and that's what you said. So like between now so after knowing you about a year, and you really helping me see things from a different perspective, you never once told me to do this. You never once said anything about like you might you need to go to the doctor, or you need to maybe like talk to somebody, or you gave me what I needed, like to build my confidence, to help me see something from a different perspective. You helped me like grow my heart tremendously, enough to where I told my wife that I needed to schedule a doctor's appointment to go talk to my doctor. Okay. And I love my doctor. He's amazing. He can get me in like that. And he's so honest, and he goes into detail of everything, and I feel leaving happy. It's my wife's doctor. And anyway, so I went, scheduled an appointment. I went to the doctor and went through all that. And I was diagnosed with ADHD. And he put me on a very low dose, which that's how it should be. Very low dose. It's called Tramadol. To be honest with you, I don't remember the milligrams. It's very low, probably lowest. But I've been on it since, I want to say, October. I started being happier. I have conversations with my again, ages. I know this. She's 12. My 12-year-old daughter Madison. She's gonna be 13 in August. We talked about it. It's August 11th. August 11th, next month. She is going to be 13. So now I'm able to have conversations with her, and she told me about stuff that happened to her early in life, earlier that she told me about at the time, and she felt like that she was upset that I didn't maybe respond the way she wanted or expected me to as a father. And she told me those stories again, and I'm not taking. I wasn't a bad father. I've always supported my kids and stuff like that. But now I can admit that I'm a better father. I'm a better father. And I listen to those stories again. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, and we do something about it. And whatever that something is, whether it be, if she was afraid of something, then I help her conquer that fear. You know what I mean? Whatever it was, I'm able to have those conversations now. Hunter, I feel like that I've gotten much better with Hunter, my son, as far as just having conversations with him, giving him tasks, making sure that he's responding in the same way that he should be to learn how to, have social interactions a little bit better. I think I've been so much better with that, and and not treating him like that. Because there was a time that I was always, he's a runner. Every time I take him in public, like he would try to drop his weight, pull away, and take off running in the parking lot. So I want people to think about that for a second. And I'm not trying to put anything off on nothing, but like I was always afraid of that. I was always afraid of walking in a store like Kohl's. We love going in Kohl's, and like someone be riding one of those electric carts, like and maybe they weren't paying attention, and he drops his weight and they smash into him like it. That's what was going through my head, that and perception. I didn't want him hitting people whenever they walked by and they might not. I did that for so long that I'm not doing that anymore. And I'm focusing on him and his more of developmental needs. And if he drops his weight, which he's not been doing, or if he hits somebody, I'll just explain to him, like, and even if they're really mad, and hopefully
That's what it is.
hopefully they're kind people and can understand, but it's me. It's me that did that, but it's me now that is trying, but I haven't been able to get there until this change. I love talking to parents now about their kids, like openly, and feeling like they know it's okay to show them I love their kid, and not be the creepy guy that's saying that they love their kid.
Yep.
Because they can see it. Their kids talk about me, and I get it. And if they don't, I'm sorry, but hey, bye. So it's
So it's
big
been
change.
good.
It's a great change. I will never push it on anybody. I will never push it on anybody. I think that if anybody, the one thing I'd say this is if I see students all the time, and sometimes like there's reasons why you might not know if they're diagnosed with anything or not, because if you're not their teacher, if there's no reason to, there's not like if you don't have an interaction with them up to that point, then you didn't need to know, or not know as more openly than the teacher that would have for whatever reason. There's legal reasons. I 100% get that because I have a son that is autistic. But I would like to just be able to say if anybody, any parent would love to have a one-on-one conversation with me, I'm completely open with it, because this needs to be a conversation that's away from the school, that it's just me saying how it's helped me, and here's how I was in school, which I barely graduated high school, being honest. It took me 6.5 years, like Van Wilder, to get my bachelor's degree, and my parents sticked with it, and I love them so much. But that's how I was. I struggled, and then it wasn't until I got into the business world, and then that's when I started being successful, because of the effort that I put in made up for what I might have lacked in other stuff. I'm not a dumb dude. I know I'm not a dumb dude. I think I'm a very streetwise person, and I think that I have math down like amazingly to a certain extent. Now, if you want me to do calculus right now, good luck, right? But I mean, I can teach kids math. So, man, I have those, but it was definitely the effort that got me successful.
Do you think your struggles make you a better teacher?
I definitely think my struggles. Hold on. I'm switching from soda to water for a second because there's a whole thing.
I know for me, I can connect with certain students better because I had a bunch of struggles growing up. Like you, like I was not the perfect student. Like I was in remedial math classes, like mandatory tutorials because I was failing and didn't even care. Didn't care at all in sixth grade. And then my mom, remarried for the umpteenth time and moved us out to this small town. And all of a sudden I'm academically higher, and that made me feel a little bit better. So I was able to thankfully change my attitude about my grades. But I struggled with oppositional defiance. Didn't know that until I became a teacher and I knew what that label was. I was like, check all those boxes. No wonder I spent so much time in the principal's office or in the hallways. Like and I just realized, like this past year, from kindergarten up, all the teachers were like, we're going to be calling your mom about this. And I'm like, okay, good luck getting her on the phone. So all teachers would do this with me. And they're like, we'll be talking to your mom. I didn't realize until the past year, and I can remember we were at the restaurant, we were having like a big family dinner. My aunt was there, my brother and his family, me, my mom, and we started talking about, just school stuff, like me and my brother being younger, and my brother was even worse than me. Like he had to get his GED, like he couldn't even finish school. He was bounced around from relative to relative. So we were talking about, growing up and how much school basically sucked for us. And I was like, man, Mom, I bet you got tired of answering that phone. She's like, what are you talking about? I said, well, the teacher's calling you all about the things that I was getting into. And she goes, I've never gotten a phone call. And I was like, oh, they lied? And I'm sitting there shook in the restaurant. And I'm like, they lied to me about that?
You were so shocked.
I was absolutely shocked because me personally, if I say it, I do it. And then so if I tell it, and that's like how I live my life. If I say it, I'm going to do it.
No, I get it. I love the shirt too.
And when I tell the students, like, I'm going to be calling your parents after school today, like I do it. Like no teacher, I feel like no teacher should want to have to call their parents on behavioral stuff like that. So it's not like I'm like, ha ha ha. Like I feel like my teachers were in the past. Not one of them called my house. Not one of them. And so
That's
my
awesome.
mom was like, what kind of things what was I supposed to be getting phone calls for? And I was like, well, in first grade, I colored my dinosaurs purple, green, and blue because those colors worked really well together. And I love the jewel tones of it. And then Miss Vincent, I still remember her, she told me that I couldn't do that because dinosaurs weren't that color. And I popped off with, how do you know you weren't alive back then? And I spent the whole afternoon in the hallway, and she swore she was going to call and tell you. And then, so she's hearing these stories that I got into from, kindergarten. She's like, okay, didn't know any of this. And then I'm sitting, in an ARD meeting or something in my 30s, and I hear oppositional defiance, and I'm like, can we talk more about that?
Yeah. What's that?
What's that? And then I learned also, there's a thing called, and I don't even know the real term for it, but it's basically math dyslexia.
Okay. Yeah. I had experience.
And I was like, okay, I need to know more about that because I think I have that because my numbers would always be switched and wrong. And it wasn't until I hit 7th grade. And again, because it's a smaller school, I don't know, but for some reason they're like, well, she needs to be on the academically advanced courses. And that included math. And so I'm sitting in class with Mr. Bodie, who I loved because Mr. Bodie was the first math teacher that said, Courtney, I'm going to need you to go line by line. I don't care what the math, 6 + 1, that gets a line by itself because I need to know where you're going wrong. And I get down and I work a problem, get down to it, and I get the wrong answer. And I go back and I check my initial equation with what was ever on the book or whatever. And the numbers be completely different. And I swear, like I had it down. And so he was the first math teacher because I didn't struggle in any other areas.
Yeah.
Like I could remember dates and stuff and history and stuff. But with math, he was the first teacher that said, I need to know where you're going wrong so I can help you. And it took 7 years to get that teacher. Yeah. And still to this day, when I do math, even when I'm balancing my checkbook and stuff, I'm doing it line by line because Mr. Bodie said, you need to know where you're going wrong, Courtney. And he was so patient and so chill. He was older white guy, loved him, loved his class, and I hate math. I
Yeah.
hate math. But because he cared enough to say, I'm gonna help you, that made a huge difference. And I could feel that he cared.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it. Like you're in your 30s and 40s and you're learning like you had lifetime of struggle that didn't get diagnosed. Like
Mm-hmm.
I should have had something for my math. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have struggled as much.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should have been on a bib. I don't know, but I can't tell you. Like I've spent 6 weeks in a principal's office for one particular class because I couldn't get with that teacher, and so he's like, during the 8th period, you're just going to come sit in the office, and at the end of the 6 weeks, we'll switch you. Like that happened a lot. My mom had no idea because they lied to me, telling me that they were going to call, and I'm honest with like that with my students. I'm like, I spent so much time in the principal's office, guys. Like they're like, you did? I'm like, yeah, I know. This doesn't look like I'm someone who did.
No, not at all.
But I spent so much time in the principal's office. I spent so much time sitting in the hallways. I failed classes. Like I've been there. Like I've been in those shoes. So I'm honest with the kids like that, and I think that they connect better knowing that you're a real person. So my struggles, I feel, have made me a better teacher.
No, I 100% agree. Like, it's so hard. Like, man, you're so good with words. Because, like, even when you asked me, she's like, you said that, like, do you think those struggles will help, like, you be a better teacher kind of thing? And then like, you asked me that, and then you 100%, which I listened and I hung on every word of what you said. But, like, it's like you took over and you told me yours. And so this is an amazing thing, but I'm like, do not forget that she asked you, so you still have to answer it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
well, some people see those struggles as weaknesses, and I don't think that they're weaknesses. It was just something you had to overcome. It was just a challenge. So, you have to be kind of precise with your words. For me, growing up so dirt poor, like, there was one winter that the water heater went out and you showered in cold water because at least they paid the water bill that month. So I had tons of struggles. And some people would view that's like a weakness, like your ADHD. That's a weakness. No, it's not. Yeah. It's a struggle that you overcame. So I think that they're struggles. So for me personally, I think having those struggles made me a stronger person, but also a better teacher. So what do you think? Do your struggles make you better?
No, I 100% think they do. Like I have so many stories, and a lot of them I've told many people before I've not been ashamed of. I'm not ashamed of it. There's things that everybody's going to have that they're going to be ashamed of. And I get that. But like, I mean, like all the wrecks that I was in whenever I was in high school, like I wrecked a lot of cars and stuff like that. I was in ISS a few times. I got in fist fights and stuff. It was dumb. Like back then it's just a dumb kid. But at the same time, like I loved to make people laugh. I loved to be loved. Like that was the thing. You know what I mean? Like everybody. That was my thing. I love, feeling wanted, just like I'm sure a lot of people do. Everybody should, and everybody should have what they need in life. I love now being able to see that and say to this kid maybe that has had something hopefully not as bad as that, because it was me, like just being dumb, and hopefully but if they do have some kind of way to connect to that, to know that that's not where it ends. I know that, I switched over to teaching, and when I did, it was scary. It was COVID, all that happening. I was nervous. I was worried about perceptions again. I'm back in the same school that I was worried about perception in when I went to school, because it's the same building. That was my high school that I now teach in. That's now the junior high. So my first year, I didn't know about cliques or how, am I going to get fired the first year? I didn't know anything about that. We have 1-year contracts, I didn't know how that worked. And then you throw COVID at me, and it's like, holy geez. So it took me a year or two before, like, I started to feel like, man, I can love these kids, and like I can put what I did over there to work. Like I know how to produce. I can do that. I know how repetition works, and I know how and I can take from the best people like Diaz. Diaz is a consultant that used to work for the district, and he's amazing. But Diaz would had a relationship and still does have a relationship with Jamie Stepp, and then through Jamie Stepp, which my teaching partner, she got it to me, and this whole chain like helped me see
I feel
that
like we should plug Diaz right now, like Mr.
Yes.
Math. He gets amazing results.
Yeah, and I will put that on there.
Diaz, I mean, I knew him because he was AP over at the intermediate, and he has some revolutionary ideas as far as education goes. But he's all about results. He's all about what's going to be best for the students. So, he's great.
To finish that plug, and I can't remember when I say stuff. This is my memory thing. And I'm not ashamed of it, but I can't remember. So if this is the second time saying this, I'm sorry. But let me like kind of put it in terms of real life. Last year in 7th grade math, we had the highest scores, star scores, than I've ever seen on record of the STAR test numbers for Hillsborough Junior High. That was last year. Not last year. That was, so last school year just ended. Ended like a little over a month ago. Again, me with time frames. I don't know how long it's been. Yeah, sure, about a little over a month ago. So last school year, I'm going to talk about in a second, but I'm talking about the school year before that. So would that have been 20 to 2021?
Don't make me mad.
Okay, anyways, not last school year, the year before. We had the best numbers that I had seen, right? We haven't got the official STAR scores for the STAR that we just finished. We haven't got the official. We get preliminary. I'm a math teacher and understand something. I worked at Walmart and Sam's Club, the largest company in the world. You can think about whatever you want to. They know how to train their people. They know how to train their people. And you get somebody that wants to train me at an age where now my brain is matured, and I took it in and I wanted to be the best. I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm saying I wanted to be the best. And if you got somebody that wants it a lot, they're going to be at the top. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to be arrogant because I learned from a lot of amazing people. But they taught me how to do financials. They taught me how to manipulate numbers, not manipulate them by lie, but manipulate them like if, let's say you are looking at the sales report, the total store report. I think it was, I don't even remember. It's been so long. Store manager recap, I think was on there as well at Sam's Club. But if you're looking at this report and you know that the work week of Sam's Club ends on a Friday, that's when the financial week ends, and you're on a Wednesday and you look that you're down $10,000 in grocery for the month or for the week, then you know, oh man, let's go look and see if what's on the cart rail. As soon as you walk into Sam's Club, let's see what items are right there. Or what's the number one selling grocery item right now? Like the thing that will get us the most sales dollars, but who cares if it's low in profit? Like in a lot of times it was Capri Sun, or it was Sunny Delight, Takis chips, all those kind of things. They would force that and put it right by the door and just put a big sign above it. They're not doing any false advertising. They're just saying, hey, y'all already love buying this. We put a whole bunch of them right here making it easy. I understood how to do that. So I brought that, and now I'm coming over here and I'm like, I can do that with these kids. All I got to do is teach better. That's it. And every single day, every single year, that's the same focus. I can get them to go up if all I do is teach better. That, man, to me, that's just so weird to think of it like that. But all that to say, we've just got the preliminary scores, but I will put 100% confidence in saying that I'm talking about Hillsborough Junior High. And again, I know my scores. I can only speak to them. 7th grade is going to be in the top 10%, if not the top 5% of the state of Texas in this last year's STAR test. I have no doubt in my mind. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I learned from this experience and I got better. But that's where they're going to end. And knowing that I have that because of people like Diaz, Mr. Math, right? His relationship with Jamie Stepp and teaching all his knowledge, that's her mentor. Not only has the district paid sometimes for his services since for my teaching partner, holy geez, I'm getting forever. I gotta finish. But we had his services for Jennifer Rodriguez. We love her. I love her to death. I know you do too. But he helped her last year. She's like when I say the 7th grade math STAR results are going to be the top of the nation or whatever. seventh grade math results. I'm only one. I'm only one of those math teachers. That better math teacher, and I get it. I'm not doing this because like people are saying, oh, you're just saying that because like you're trying to make yourself look better. I'm telling you because it's a fact. She's been teaching longer than I have, and there's something that comes with experience and match level of passion. If you've got two passionate people and they both are wanting the best for these kids, one of them's been teaching for 4 years and the other one has been teaching for a lot longer. I know it's a lot longer. I don't know exactly how many years, but also have been an administrator since then, right? Administrator in a building. Like, I understand that she, and I accept she is a better math teacher. I 100% believe that. I know she'll say differently. That's what I believe. 100%. That's the seventh grade math team at Hillsborough Junior High. We did that together. Like her results, if we went student by student, she knows this not student by student. If we went from all her students versus all my students, and we truly compared them and did a mathematical equation, she's on top. I know that. I'm not stupid. I know that. That's why I'm good at my job, because I know that. And I did do that, and she is above me. So, and that's fine because I love her and I love that. But anyways, all that to plug, a very long plug, I'd say, Mr. Diaz, his great relationships, his knowledge, his ability to know what the kids are going to learn the best, what strategy, the exact wording, exact like content material, everything. He knows. He knows what works and what doesn't work. And like, he's always growing. Like, he doesn't just stick with that. He's listening to us, talking back and getting that feedback from us in the classrooms, because he's teaching kids too. Like, it's, he does so much. Anyways, but he's got it down. He's amazing. Mr. Math, Diaz, he's amazing. Plus, he called me on the last day of school this year. I want to get emotional. He called me on the last day of school this year just to check on me, and he didn't have to. And I didn't have that kind of same relationship that he's got with Jamie. So he didn't have to. I love him for that. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, bud. So yes, Mr. Diaz is awesome. So, wow, I've got to switch off of that. I'm going to address and just a little, because I'm not going to ignore it. So you did mention you're fully okay with mentioning when you're diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah.
Like you're going through your treatments and stuff right now, and we talk almost every day. And if it hasn't been every day, and I apologize, like it was, you know what I mean? And it's not that I feel like I need to apologize, it's because I want to talk to you every day. Like that wasn't like, oh, like at the beginning of at the end of the school year, I said, oh, every day I'm going to set a timer and I'm going to. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It's like, man, I want to know how she's doing every day. I want to know that I can eventually talk you into letting me come mow your lawn or bring you a drink that you want or whatever. It's like, man, because it's my stuttering thing.
That's when you take a moment.
Yeah, that's my coping strategy. Thank you for reminding me. So, I told this to Melinda the other day. Like I would have been the same regardless of if this didn't happen where you're diagnosed with cancer. Like I know I would have been the same because this is the first summer that I've had you fully in my life. You know what I mean? Like I know you know what I mean. And the same thing goes for Jennifer. But it's like we've known each other like longer, and we've had that relationship start earlier. And you've been there for me for things that no one else has been there for me for. That later on I told other people about, but you were the one. So I know that in my heart I wanted to not just say, I'll see you next school year. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted because of who you are. So I want you to know that because I told Melinda about it and I didn't want to tell anybody else but you. And now obviously there's a lot of people, but you know what I mean? Like, because I feel like a lot of times we say stuff that we don't mean to not hurt people's feelings, but it's amazing sometimes when it lines up the right way where I'm not saying something that I don't mean because that's exactly what I do mean. And I know it, You know what I mean? I know it, like I do. I know that after talking to Hazel and telling her that I'm going to be more actively involved, and I want to see pictures of her kid going to play basketball in Rome, which is amazing. Like, I'm not just lying. Like, I was already following her, and I already follow you. I already follow. There's people I do, and there's people I don't. Like, let's be honest. If we have 1,000 friends on Facebook, which I don't have, like, if you follow them all, like, you're not gonna. Like, you're gonna be tired, and you won't even get to see what your very best friend did 5 hours before that because she
Right.
doesn't show up on your news feed. So I don't follow everybody, but like, man, I want these relationships. I love these relationships, and I'll never have a relationship like you ever again. So, we neither one of us will ever allow that to happen, ever, for any reason, ever. So, anyways, I wanted to, if it's cool with you, if Hunter's out there, I just want to kind of bring him in,
Okay.
and just because, like, hey, like, I mean, he's the cute factor. It's Hunter, and he's awesome. Also because, like, I want, since I've talked about him some, on here, and you mean the world to me. Like, it's something I just really wanted to see if I can bring him in for a second. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine. It's great.
Cool.
Million tabs open for that man.
So I want to knock anything over. Here, sit down for a second. Hey, what are you doing? Can you talk right here? What do you want? No, that's muted. Look, talk right here. What do you want? Look, like this.
What?
Say, what do you want? You do it.
What do you want?
You do it. No, right here. Talk.
Tower.
What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
Tower.
Play tablet? Okay, maybe in a little bit. All right, say hi.
Say hi.
All right. Look,
And say bye.
say bye.
Bye.
Okay, we'll talk in a minute.
Get that boy his tablet.
So now I literally, what he's talking about is this tablet that we're literally, like, we're...
Can I just say, like, because this is like, our relationship has not been a long one. It's been 2 years, right?
Mhm.
Again, I'm not good at math, like subtracting and stuff.
I get it.
But I remember Hunter from the very beginning, and to see him vocalize like he has been, like just now, like I can see that growth, and I'm not anywhere like seeing him so often, you know. But to see his growth is pretty cool.
No, it's amazing. I brag on him a lot on social media because, like, that's the part of me now is like that I'm not worried about what people think. I don't care if you think I post too much, and I'm sorry that if I'm blowing up your stuff, and that's not what I'm intended to do.
Stop following me.
I mean, yeah, no, but like my thing is, and I don't have a lot of followers, and that's fine. That's not what it's about. I'm just saying that, like, there's so many people I have connected with that like have asked me for stuff and have made me feel so positive about myself that when an experience happens, I'm going to do my very best to record it. You know what I mean? Because it's not that it's not like I'm bragging on myself. It's that it's like, I want to connect. I want them to know my daughter's crazy and she wants to bake cakes and as a business to raise money for her garden that produces vegetables for her culinary, the lessons and all that she wants to. Holy jeez. Oh my gosh. Anyways, like, that's why I post all the stuff on there is because I want them to know us. I want them to feel safe if they see me in public, to know that I'm just not a weirdo, because I get it. It's not just a weirdo because of the tattoos. I act weird. I'm gonna embarrass you in public. I did it literally yesterday. Oh my gosh, to your boy. Oh, we went to Ace Hardware here in town, Fleming. Shout out Eric Fleming. Here in town, Fleming Hardware. It's Ace Hardware, but it's Fleming. We've always known it as Fleming. Anyways, we went by there yesterday. We needed some fly traps, the ones that come down because we've had the windows open and flies in and everything. So we needed those. Anyways, we went in there and I seen your boy Caden, and he was, as soon as we walked in, he's at the gumball machine with another kid bent over, like getting the gumball out or something, acting goofy, and I couldn't see who that was. So they're buying gumballs, and as soon as I seen Caden, I was like, "What's up, dog?" Like, it's just, you know what I mean? And he's just doing Caden, just like,
I know you.
Like, okay. So we meet, like, we go looking for the fly things. They're done with their gumballs, going to meet up with somebody, I guess. And they pass me, and then same kind of thing. I'm just like, both of them, like, what up, dog? What up? What up? So, anyways, it's so crazy, you know. Those kind of things. Like, if I could have pulled my phone out real quick and recorded that, embarrassed me more, I probably would have. But it was like a trade off, because like Hayden is, man, he's awesome, he's amazing, but like, you know, he doesn't attach to everybody, and he ain't attached to me. Like, I know he's not. I want him to be so much because he seems like he's amazing, but he's not, and I get it. That's fine. But like, those kind of things, I don't want to trade off for a video. I don't want to pull my phone out real quick and lose the actual experience. It's just, it happened so fast. It was like, what's the most embarrassing thing I can do? Like, just act stupid or something.
You can't embarrass that kid.
Yeah,
you really can't.
no,
He's
you can't.
He's so laid back and chill. You cannot embarrass him at all.
Caden Christie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a goober.
He really
Anyways,
is.
so I don't even know. All that to say, I post stuff a lot, and I'd apologize if it's too much, but that's me. I'm goofy. I love it. I love that you do too. I look at all the stuff. I joke it with you about cat stuff and call you the cat lady, and offer to buy you a T-shirt that has cats on it.
It makes me legit. That makes me so angry when you call me the crazy cat lady, because I'm not. I have one cat. My daughter has 3, and she wants another one. So she calls them her children. And so my daughter is 22, and it's really cool. You say, Madison's birthday is August 11th, and she's going to be 13. My daughter's birthday is August 22nd, and she's going to be 23.
Okay.
So the numbers are kind of like, for me anyway, that's pretty cool. Anyway, so she's so... I don't even know, words go beyond describing her. So her birthday's in August. And so when she graduated high school, she was still 17. And she had known since like junior high, maybe even earlier, that she wanted to go like up north to go to school or to live up there, whatever. Her life was not going to be in Texas. It was going to be up north. And she went on that Washington, New York trip in junior high. And that just solidified that she wanted to be up in New York.
Yeah.
So she only applied to 3 colleges. She applied to UMass in Boston, and then 2 colleges in New York. That's all she applied to. And she's like, I was like, Allie, that's going to be really expensive, because, I'm not going to, you're going to have to pay for college. I had to pay for my college because I grew up dirt poor. Unfortunately, we do not have generational wealth.
No, I get it. Yeah.
So she's like, no, I don't expect you to pay for my college. Like, I'm an adult. I should be able to do that myself. Well, that's going to be way expensive. If you went to school in Texas, you'd have free tuition. Like, she's so smart. And so she was like, no, this is what I want. And I remember she got a scholarship to UMass for, I think, $15,000 per semester or per year or something like that. And so she's like, I can handle this. So she had just turned 18 before moving to Boston by herself. She just moved there. She didn't really have a game plan. She never has a game plan. She might have a cocktail napkin that has like words on it, maybe, or pictures. Never has that. She just knows it's going to work out because it's always worked out for her. She's the luckiest person in the world. So she moves to Boston. I miss her terribly. She goes through 1 semester of school and decides, I don't want to keep, paying for school when I don't know what I want to do. So she's like, well, I'm done with college for now. I'm probably going to go back when I know what I want. But she just did one semester and she was done. Yeah. So now she's living her life in Boston. She meets her boyfriend, and they meet through Tinder, and it just works out. Like, I mean, everybody knows what dating apps are for college kids. But
okay.
She found her person.
What? Oh, okay.
She found her person. He found his person. Their personalities just matched. And then COVID hit. And Harvard told all their students, like, you have to leave. Like, we're closing the campus. And these are international students. He comes from Australia. He's like, he can just pop back home, So she was living in, like, this house and had, like, 3 other people. Like, she had a room and they had common areas. So she and he, after, like, dating for a few months, she's like, well, you can stay with me, living in this communal home. Yeah. And so they spent all COVID together, didn't kill each other, didn't break up. And then he graduated for COVID and he got a job offer in Manhattan. She's like, well, guess what? We're moving to Manhattan. So The girl has one semester of college, 19, and she's like, no, she was 20 at this time because it was COVID. So she's like, I'm just gonna move to Manhattan. She has no money. She has no, like, I know because her accounts are still linked to mine. Like, I know what her savings was. She didn't have anything. She just had this blind faith of, well, I get to finally live in New York. So they moved to Manhattan, and that's where she's been these past few years. And they've been doing phenomenal. She is like the regional technical director. I don't know. She has this fancy title. Basically, she's the buffer between her boss and the employees.
Okay.
So she solves all the problems, so they don't have to deal with it. And then if they see something, they just like fix this, and she's like done. So she's kind of like HR. She's kind of like
I get
all
it.
this stuff. She's 22 with one semester of college, and she has this going for her. Like, it's phenomenal that I got to see her grow like that, and people are always like impressed with her. And I don't even remember where I was going with the story. The cats. Okay, there it is. There it is. You needed to know this. You needed to know this about this. So Monday. Okay, so like Sunday they went to the PGA tournament, women's tournament.
Okay.
And the weekend before that, they're at Ed Sheeran concert. The weekend before that, they went to a floating lantern. Like, they're constantly going. Like, her last birthday, they go to Puerto Rico for like 2 weeks. Like, all this. So she's got this lifestyle. So you know now her job, you know now her background. Like, you can't believe that she's in this position, so professional. Monday she has to go to dinner with her bosses and the doctors because she works for a dental company.
Okay.
So these people are like at least twice her age or older, and they're at this really fancy restaurant, like not like a Michelin star, but it's pretty bougie. So she's meeting some of these doctors for the first time that she technically is like kind of slightly above.
Right, I get it. Okay. Yeah.
So they're all sitting there and they're having dinner and they're talking about their nannies, trying to find a good nanny. I mean, they're talking about how like their private tuition of $60,000 a year and how horseback riding lessons are now $10,000. So they're talking about their kids and all this stuff. And Allison's sitting there and she goes, let me tell you, if my 3 were not so independent, I don't know what I would do either. She's talking about her cats. She's talking about her cats. And it threw them off a little bit because, again, she's 22. And they're like, you're 3? And she's like, yeah, luckily I don't have to have the nanny because they're very independent. You know, So she treats her cats as her children. She is a crazy cat lady. And when you call me one, it makes me so, I'm like, oh, no. I get so upset because I'm like, I'm nothing like a crazy cat lady.
Like, oh my gosh, I've had dreams of going to your house for the first time, and then it's like they have the old banister, stuff, like, and then I walk by and there's like 2 or 3 cats. One jumps on my back, one tries to run out the door, and the other one is the pissed off one at the end of the hallway that's like, rah, and then just attacks me. Like, I literally imagined that in a dream, and I'm like,
that is literally her 3 cats. Her 3 cats would do that to you. It's like, I have people that will come over that have never been around. Like, I have, people that come over for help with like utility problems or something, like repairmen or people that have never been there. And my cat comes out for the first time. They've been there for like an hour or so, and they're like, jump. They're like, we didn't even know you had a cat. Like, because I don't have a cat smell in my house. I don't have cat stuff everywhere. It's just, I have one cat, and you call me a crazy cat lady, and I'm like, ugh.
Oh,
I have no idea. No idea. But right now, I am posting a lot of pictures of her because, one, she's very clean. I think my aunt was like, maybe she senses you have cancer and she needs to be there for you. And I'm like, okay, that's a crazy cat lady thing to say. But
that's there you go.
But for like right now, because of the cancer lowers my immunity, I can't really get out and go and do like, it really sucks because I can't even travel. I do weekly infusions, so I can't, really travel at all, which sucks when I see, people going on, the vacations and things. And so a lot of times I'm at the house, which I love being at home. I love it. My house is the best for me. But I post a little about my cat right now because that's my life. Like,
it's all about it.
My couch, man.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm not a cat guy. I'm a dog guy. We've got 2 dogs. One I consider mine, Blue. He's my boy. I got him from a friend, a very good friend growing up, Alan Cox. Anyways, he lives around these close parts. So they have great kids, And I mean, I could go on for days about that entire family with Roseanne and everybody. Anyways, so cats.
Cats
You're
can't
not that
Courtney.
crazy.
Yeah.
I got my dog Blue from them. He's amazing. Dogs are better than cats. That's why they're stronger in a fight.
And they tell the police all of your innermost illegal secrets.
Not mine.
Cats will not roll. Cats are like, I don't have no idea. I've never seen nothing.
But no, like that, and all that to say, that's all about sharing lives and sharing what's going on. It's important. Mental health is super important. It always has been, but now I think it's more brought to light than it's ever been. So post stuff, make videos, make phone calls, do what you can with the people that are available to you, like the friends, going to lunch, going to a store, getting out of the house. Like, I get it that money is tight. I get it. Trust me, I get it. There's stuff that I'm doing, and I put myself in a position I've never had before, and that's fine because I did it. Because it was that important to me. But it doesn't cost much to either drive to Walmart and walk around for an hour and look to see what new stuff they have on feature. It doesn't, go to the park, walk around. We've done that, I don't know, 10, 15 days since we've been out of school. Get out there. Work on your physical life, work on your mental life. It's important. And I can speak forever on that. So anyways, thank you so much for coming on. I think this is amazing. I'm so glad that it got to be this, and then just people are watching. You know what I mean? I would love to in the future, and it's all up to you fully, and I'm not going to put you on the spot, but I would love to, don't answer, if you would ever want to do this again. Because I know that people are going to get tired of seeing me, and they're going to want to see the one that is the best. I mean, in my opinion, definitely the better one, and more than just a few ways. So thank you again. I love you so much, and it's very hard for me to say that to another woman. So
growing up, I can't remember a time when anybody in my family really said that. And now here, because of my diagnosis, my family is actually, doing that. It's not something I'm comfortable with either, but it's better to say it than to regret it. So. And
again, I would have said it regardless of any situation in anybody's life, because you've meant the world to me. So thank you again. I appreciate it, and we'll talk. We're not going to finish this right this second, but we got to finish this right now.
Ready, set, go bananas.